Hello, gorgeous.
You see, in this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
You're tearing me apart!
Onto your butt.
Round up the usual suspects.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of Man Bites Retro. That's right.
Woman Bites Retro.
Man.
Woman.
Bites. We. They.
No, we.
They.
We.
We.
Woman.
We Bites Retro? Maybe.
Yeah.
My name is Lewis, and of course, our wonderful host this week,
Princess Naomi.
Princess Naomi.
Always princess.
I don't know about that. Maybe Queen Naomi.
I'm going to get a tiara to wear next time.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That'd be interesting.
Go with my whip.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. This is going to be another episode where I will be tied behind my hands will be tied behind.
You got lost going in there.
I lost myself, my little train of thought on that one.
Yeah.
My fantasy kind of got away with me on that one.
Yeah, the thoughts trailed off. Not enough blood flowed to the brain at that moment.
Other things were happening. Sorry, wrong show, guys.
But tune in next time to Candlelit Blowjob.
That's right. So take it away. Which movie are we reviewing this week?
This week we are reviewing, actually, Evil Under the Sun.
Ooh,
Yes.
Agatha Christie movie.
Agatha Christie. It's a 1982 movie that actually stars Peter Ustinov in the title role of Hercule Poirot. Probably not.
Poirot?
Poirot.
Poirot.
Yes, the Belgium detective.
You gotta roll the R's.
You gotta. Well, I'm not Hispanic like you.
Poirot.
I'm white. The R's don't roll like that.
Well, he's Belgium,
Belgium.
not French.
Belgium.
Do not confuse him with French.
Of course not.
Poirot.
So this one is a little bit of a lesser known Agatha Christie, I would say. I mean, if you're a fan of Agatha Christie, you would know it, but most people just know her, I think most popular one, which is Murder on the Orient Express. This one, it's a sweet little whodunit, and it's really cute, and it's not anything like groundbreaking. It's not a super complicated plot, but it follows the story of Arlena Marshall. Arlena? An actress who basically is on a island in the Adriatic, run by Maggie Smith, which is awesome.
Which she is glorious in this.
But she is so in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
With her appearance. Everybody is.
Oh, yeah.
Shoulder pads out to here, dude.
Dude, like the one scene where it looks like the what do you call it? The mom from, oh my gosh, what's the name of the movie?
I don't remember.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, yes.
God, I completely blanked out. But yeah, she looks exactly like the mom from Beetlejuice with those extravagant, like devil-looking
with the,
brows.
The sparkles and glitter everywhere. The animal print, zebra print everywhere.
Print. Oh my god, yes.
So this is about Elena Marshall, and in the classic Agatha Christie style, she ends up murdered, and it's Hercule Poirot, who I cannot...
Poirot?
Yeah, I'll just leave that to you to say.
Okay.
Is there, incidentally, no one is expecting him to be there, and he's brought in to solve the case.
Yeah, which is always the best way. I think with recent movies like Knives Out and everything, this falls very much into that.
Yeah.
And this is the classic whodunit.
Oh, very much so.
Murder mystery.
I mean, very much. I mean, and it's very classic in the Agatha Christie style, where there are little hints all the way through, but there's like a bunch of stuff that's not really referenced until the end.
A lot of red herrings.
Yeah, so
which is really cool.
And what I really like about this one, and the reason that I wanted you to watch it, is because it's just, I really like Peter Ustinov in this role. I think he's hilarious, and I think it's just one of those really fun whodunit stories that it's not super obvious all the way through it, but and it gets you thinking about it, like, oh, it could be this, it could be that. And unlike Murder on the Orient Express, where they're locked on the train and all of that, and it's the story's kind of a lot of people know the story already. This one, since it's lesser known, it's just it's a different take on Agatha Christie and the kind of things that she created, but it has that same style, trapped on an island, not trapped, but isolated on an island.
They're always isolated in Agatha Christie novels.
Well, yeah.
It's either like the weather allows them to be stuck in a particular house, or a train or an island or something. They're always
something. It's
isolated.
the catalyst for the event where they and of course they weren't expecting him to be there is always a big part of it as well.
It's a big surprise.
Yes.
Surprise!
But
I'm here.
I love how he acts in this movie, and I like the fact, the little gray cells and all that. Like, that's what I love. I love his attitude in this movie, and I adore Maggie Smith in this movie, though, and the interplay between her and the actress who plays Arlena Marshall, which I don't know her name at the moment. I should have looked that up. But just the banter between them, where you can feel years of hostility between them.
Oh, yeah.
And what I always like is the fact that
Diana Rigg.
her stories build around creating plausible motives.
Yeah.
So you really don't know. And I like that a lot. I like that a lot in Whodunit, when you're kind of, halfway through the movie, you're like, well, yeah, I mean, any of these people could have done it. And, she gets a lot of criticism in her stories that it's usually, like, it all builds up to the most obvious person, and then she pulls out the red herring at the end where there was no, like, out of left field. But I don't feel like this movie was like that.
No, it kind of leads up to all these moments. All these people have, the motives. Mm-hmm. They all have alibis.
Yep.
So you have no idea which one is lying, because obviously one of them are.
Well, the only thing I think that is kind of, it's a stretch in this movie is the fact that they all have these issues with her, which is sort of like Murder on the Orient Express, but they were intentionally there. They all came together intentionally for that story. In this one, they all just happen to be on the island. They all just happen to have issues with her. I think that is a little bit of a stretch in the story, that they would just all, by happenstance, be on the island at this time.
They kind of allowed that story to be realistic in a sense, because they expressed the fact that this island is like this island for the rich and famous to hide out in.
Yeah, but the odds of them all being there at once, I think, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a good story, and you kind of need that where everybody is a suspect. Yeah. Because otherwise, what's the point?
Agreed. And I think that's fascinating, but also at the same time, a lot of these celebrities would take their whole friends, their whole crew of friends.
If they knew she was going to be out there, because she was making kind of a scene of herself and all that. And I like the little sub-stories that come from it. The trashy book that was being written about her, the fact that she's, the stolen diamond that starts it all off, and why he's actually there on that island.
That was the weakest link.
The diamond thing?
Yeah, that was the weakest link.
But they needed a reason for him to be there, because there was no reason for him to be there.
I think they could have found a different way to approach it without that. Maybe going to investigate the hotel itself or something.
Yeah, but that would insinuate there was something wrong with the hotel. And,
I mean, it could have been something, or an affair or something, situation like that. Yeah. I think the diamond was kind of like let's kind of make it a little bit uppier.
Well, yeah, it has that definite, like, old school feel of a mystery, and which was very much of her time. Because think about it, the movie was done in the 80s, but the book was written way before that, so... it does add a little bit of that intrigue in there, and a little bit of glamour and glitz of,
exactly, and
a plausible reason why a former lover would come after you, which I think they needed that element to show Arlena's track record of pursuing men and leaving them, which is a huge part of the movie, is the fact that she couldn't be faithful to one man.
True.
And a catalyst of a lot of why men didn't like her.
True. Very
Although,
true.
I'm telling you, and I mentioned this while we were watching the movie, is that I feel like Poirot. I can't say it. I think he actually really liked Arlena. I think he wasn't bothered by her sort of self-centered nature, and he does that a lot in the movies that I've seen, where he identifies with these women. He does that in Death on the Nile too, where he identifies with the woman who was killed, another kind of self-serving woman, and I think it's just because he feels bad, like, not that they're redeemable characters, but he just sees something, tragic and beautiful and all that about her. So
I think Poirot likes to identify with characters that are kind of the ones that are outcast in society, and I think this film is no different. He identifies with the one person that is kind of the outcast, the one that can't get any sun because has to hide
Mrs. Redfern.
And she does a phenomenal job in this one. Jane Birkin is the actress that does, and her performance is bar none, just fantastic.
It really is, and the just her attitude all the way through it. You really do. You want to be like, this is sad little woman. You just feel so. You want to give her a hug, like all the way through it, especially when she's crying and is getting so upset about her husband flaunting his affair with Arlena. But can we talk for a moment about that dude and his boy shorts? Like,
dude,
no man should be wearing anything like booty shorts like that. And he's wearing them all the way through the movie.
It's nut huggers. That's what they call them. They're freaking nut huggers.
I have not heard that term before, but...
Oh my god, yeah.
Now I need to adopt it.
When you come out of the water, it's literally hugging your nuts.
Right.
It's like... stuck around them.
Well, it's just... and not subtle at all, which I get is like the point that he was not subtle at all. But seriously, like the outfit paired with his behavior, I mean, could you scream gigolo or whatever anymore? Right. I mean,
and the shaved chest and everything. It was like, dude.
Oh yeah, going for the Adonis effect.
I was like, yikes.
But I do love that the douchey British aspect. They're all wearing like the white Docker pants and the vests. Like when they're playing tennis, they're out in heavy vests and white Dockers rather than appropriate tennis gear.
Right. All they need is the jacket wrapped around and tied in front of them.
The douche sweater thing. The douche sweater. Where you wrap it around the shoulders. I think he does wear one like that at one point.
He?
Yes, I think he does.
Oh my god. The Harvard Law, what do you call it? Tennis pro.
Yeah, absolutely.
It feels... This film, I think, is a little bit more dated than the other ones we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it has a fun element to it. Mm-hmm. It is really a fun movie overall. And it has that kind of murder mystery that you are trying to figure out.
It's very much a classic whodunit without gore or excessive violence or anything like that. It's actually, the violence is very minimal in it.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's one of those where you're, like movies now, even in a whodunit aspect, they go for the gore and make it as as possible. And this isn't like this. It's actually very quaint. Yeah. Would be the word I would describe for it. It's like a quaint murder mystery.
And it's PG. So this is totally a movie for everybody. And
it is.
It runs 2 hours on the dot.
Wow.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like it at all because you're so intrigued by these characters. And Poirot does a phenomenal job of actually portraying the character. I think the best, I do agree with you, this is the best Poirot 100%.
The best rendition of it, yeah, absolutely.
I definitely agree. It's like...
But I just, again, Maggie Smith, she's so freaking awesome through this movie. Especially like when she's looking at that map.
Oh.
And she's trying to figure out the murder, and she's like, well, that's inconvenient when he's saying that they have alibis. Like, I just love her reaction, because you can feel her frustration, and she's just amazing in it. She's amazing in everything, but... She
really is, and seeing Maggie Smith, so young.
Right?
That was incredible. Like, I was like, oh, what?
No, your reaction when she walked in that big sparkly outfit with the shoulder pads that were like a foot higher than her head, though. I mean, like... and the perm.
The perm. I was like, oh my god, this is so 80s.
It is.
It hurts my soul how 80s this is. But, I mean, besides all those points, I think it does stand the test of time when it comes to murder mysteries. Mm-hmm. Especially Agatha Christie movies.
Yeah.
I think this is probably higher tier than most of the Agatha Christie movies.
I think this is a very good rendition and does honor to what the original story was.
I've never read the original book.
So, well, I mean, I think a lot of the times when they do these movies, they'll cut out, just plot points because it's a movie, and this, obviously with books, you can't put everything in. I think that this one is a really good one that follows the track of the book very carefully, and it's fun to watch. And, even if you have read the book, you can still enjoy it because they're bringing the characters to life even more. And her writing's phenomenal to begin with, so you already really get that because they're so eccentric. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things I love about her things is, everyone has that little eccentricity about them, especially the writer in this.
Oh my god!
I mean, he's just he's so out there,
over the top,
absolutely. Or like the play producers who are like vengeful that she left it, and
the L.A. producer from that's completely in the closet.
Absolutely,
and it's just brilliant writing in that sense because even Poirot, when he's doing the fake swimming in the ocean, that is my favorite scene of the movie, though. That is 100% my favorite scene because
I love that scene so much.
He's just like, yes, I'm swimming. And then when he got interviewed about the fact that he was swimming in the ocean, he's like, oh, did you see me? Oh, no, okay, thank God.
But the fact that he's wearing the swim shoes, those tie-up looking like ballet slippers,
Dude, I was like, what is that?
Yeah, well, I envision he got him out of your closet, so.
Are those, like, swamp boots or something, That's what they look like. I was like, jeez.
So, overall, your impression of the movie, like, why would you recommend it to people? Or what stood out to you is why this was a good film for other people to watch?
I think that if you're into murder mysteries, if you're into trying to figure out mystery books and and movies, and if you love Agatha Christie movies, this is definitely a must watch.
Right.
If you recently saw Knives Out, this is a must watch. This is something that's very similar to that movie, and it has that kind of similar intrigue. And Poirot this is a nice segue into getting into that character.
Well, and I think this is also it's a really good, if you're interested, like you said, if you saw Knives Out and you don't have a background in watching murder mysteries, this is where Knives Out totally got, not from the specific story, but the inspiration is certainly Agatha Christie, and it's just good to get that background of where these movies got their inspiration from, because she was such a pioneer
100%.
of the genre. So
100%. I give this one, I mean, it is very dated. It is very dated.
The music is dated.
And the music, the music is something straight out of Indiana Jones' Temple of Doom. Literally from Temple of Doom.
Right.
And I think because of that, I dropped the rating a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'd probably give this a 6.5.
It doesn't, not that it doesn't age well, but it's certainly, I think the younger the person who watched it, the more disconnected they would feel from it.
Yeah, this is for 30s to 40s.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it for anybody younger, really.
I think that, and I think also just the plot line would,
yeah.
It's not complicated, but I think you would lose them because there's that lack of like
and
a Scream style of stabbing or anything like that. It is dated. It feels very much in the time it was filmed.
Yeah.
The clothing certainly dates it, and the hair. There's nothing that makes it a timeless
It's going to be very distracting to somebody that's under 30 years old.
It is a timeless story. I'll give it that. The components of it, the whodunit, it holds up. You could probably translate the story pretty easily to the here and now.
Oh, yeah.
Without a problem. So
that would be interesting if they do a character from Knives Out to do the Agatha Christie novels, which would be really cool.
It would be.
If they did something like this. This would be nice. This lends it well to a remake.
Yeah. Oh, no,
These
absolutely.
Type of films.
As long as you got the right person in the lead role.
Exactly.
I think, and with Knives Out, I think that's what you would need. Someone who just embraces the... Yeah. So did you actually give it a rating, or I interrupted you? I don't think you gave it a rating.
6.5.
6.5.
6.5.
Wow, you're harsh.
What would you give it?
A 7, but I'm giving it a half point more than you.
It's only a half point.
Yeah, but it pushes it up to a C. You're giving it a D.
It is a good entry for Agatha Christie, but it is very dated.
It is dated, but that's part of its charm.
The music is really cheesy.
It's part of its charm.
There's a lot of elements that I could nitpick at it.
Well, of course. Well,
I don't, because I appreciate the film for what it is. But there's a lot that I can nitpick at.
Well, of course you could. You could nitpick at anything.
Yeah, but still.
Nothing is flawless. Well,
Well, Kubrick.
Let's not go down that road. A little indignant sniff.
That's right.
Well,
I can argue
recommend,
that point.
Yeah, you know what? For another show, I recommend it. I think it's a good entry film into Agatha Christie. Like you said, I agree. It's not flawless and it is very dated, but I think it's a good, fun movie to watch, especially on a cold day like today, which is why we sat in watching murder mysteries essentially. So it's a good, cold, rainy day. You don't have anything else to do. And it's not something where you have to be super intently watching it.
I think this is a good movie to watch with the parents.
Yeah.
I think this would be something good to watch with the parents. Yeah. Because our parents would appreciate it. And also we wouldn't be bored out of our minds. Mm-hmm. This is better than watching Lincoln.
Yeah. Definitely. All right, cool.
So,
yeah.
So thank you so much, everybody, for listening to our wonderful episode about Evil Under the Sun, the Agatha Christie movie from the 80s.
Very much from the 80s.
Yes, very much from the 80s, with Poirot as the main character.
I can't say it. Poirot. My mouth doesn't move that way.
You gotta roll the R's.
Yeah.
My name is Louis.
I'm Princess Naomi.
Princess Naomi. I would say more queen. And this is Manbitesretro.
Woman Bites Retro.
We
We.
Bites Retro.
We
I like
Bites
that.
Retro. Okay.
We.
Yes.
We.
Woman.
We.
It's still a W. I still win.
Wasn't there a channel called We that was the woman channel? Woman Entertainment?
W, right?
No, it was Woman Entertainment. So it was WE. So it's We.
It's really sad you know that.
I have a lot of chick friends.
Oh, well, there you go.
So we'll see you guys next week for another episode of We Bites Retro.
We. Oui.